Welcome back to Beastman Reactz. I've been anticipating this trailer since I heard they were supposed to be coming out with a new one either at the end of this month or the beginning of next month. But here we have it, Transformers Rise of the Beast, official trailer 2023. And this is from the official YouTube channel. So, I'm curious to see how correct I was on some of my theories. I'll talk about that in a video after this. I just want to watch it and just take it all in. So here we go. Roll out. All right, big jungle. I know they're doing that. Those look very familiar. Oh, okay. All right, so I previously have talked about the Terracons being heralds of Unicron. And what we've seen in this trailer, along with a couple other things that I'll mention, I think some of my theories might be onto something. Can't say for sure. Can't be definite, but I think that I might be pretty on the nose with some stuff. So right off the bat, we're getting Unicron. Right off the bat, I didn't think they were gonna do it this soon, but I'm not gonna complain. So Miss Fishback, in her character, she's an archaeologist and she's in possession of this artifact. And I made the theory of the artifact being the golden disc. Not exactly the golden disc from Beast Wars, but a different iteration of it, which would be based off of the Incan golden disc. It's the sun disk of the seven rays. And I read that it's the it's being called a transwarp key. And of course, if you're familiar with transwarp technology, that's space bridge technology. And it was supposed to be a key to open up what they call the Gate of the Gods. So, being an ancient human, I wouldn't understand what a space bridge was, but it is definitely some type of a doorway to another world, to somewhere that's not our world. We see it being activated, and it's straight up a space bridge. It's absolutely a space bridge of some sort. So we see Unicron approaching this planet that looks like Saturn. I'm not going to say it's definitely Saturn, because when it shows that same planet being demolished by Unicron later in the trailer, it's got to be some alien world. But one thing that I noticed in the scene when it shows Unicron consuming that planet, it looks like it's glowing like blue, like it's energon, like Unicron's harvesting the energon from that planet. Well, Earth happens to be another planet in space that has such a high abundance of energon. This planet could have been one that Scourge and the other Terracons had scouted out, because I believe they are for sure heralds, similar to how Galactus has heralds that scout out planets that, or potential high energy resources for Galactus to consume. I'm thinking that's the route they're going with the Terracons, so they come to Earth. Now, a place rich, extremely rich in high abundance of energon. They're like, I think our master will like this place. I think he'll like this dish. This dish I've prepared for you today is high in energon. The other thing is when now we've seen the other part of the scene in the first trailer where Bumblebee jumps out of what I believe is stratosphere. You see him jumping out of the plane, gets his battle mask on, and there's these spheres flying all over, and he starts, he just starts blasting. For those who remember Transformers Energon, Unicron did release a swarm of these spheres that were acted like an antibody, like a defense mechanism for Unicron. And they were weaponized, and they were attacking the Transformers. These things seem very reminiscent to those same spherical drones from Transformers Armada, and Bumblebee's just blasting at them. And there's a scene where Scourge is speaking in this trailer. In the end, everything you cared for will be consumed. It sounds like he's speaking in past tense. I don't know. But it sounds like he already knows what's going to happen. Maybe it's because this is what the same warning that he's given to other inhabitants of multitudes of planets that he's led Unicron to consume. Very interesting. And there's that spherical door on the ground that opens. You can see things that look very reminiscent of the Maximal symbol on there. And it looks more like the one that they're using for this film. And then there's another scene where there's this mountain range, and this is definitely in Peru. There's a structure that's sticking out the top of this mountain, and there's something flying towards it, and you see this like glow of energon, is what I'm calling it, flowing towards, like it's feeding this possible weapon, and it could be a weapon that the Maximals emplaced on the Earth as a protocol if Unicron ever came. And it might be because the Maximals those who aren't familiar with the whole Beast Wars lore, Predacons and Maximals are actually the descendants of the Autobots and Decepticons. So they're from the future. So maybe they already knew what was going to come to Earth, but they weren't sure exactly when it was going to happen. So they, in turn, somehow changed the entire timeline. But they could have built this weapon on Earth expecting Unicron to show up, because he would at some point eventually in the timeline come to Earth because of the Terracons. Now, I'm still not sure exactly why Scourge has all these different Cybertronian emblems on his grill, like it's the ones he's taken from his prey that he's taken down. But this could be some type of weapon to defend Earth from Unicron. And we also get to see Wheeljack. Everybody was complaining. Well, I wouldn't say complaining. They were wondering why he didn't have his fins on the side of his head. They actually come out. They actually like transform out, similar to how Prime's battle mask and Bumblebee's battle mask kind of transforms together. And just seeing Unicron just tearing into that planet, just ripping it up with his pincers going into it. And I never thought we would see something like this soon in the Transformers live action universe. So then we see Unicron in his planet mode just devouring this planet, which may be possibly that same planet that looked similar to Saturn, just tearing into its pincers, going into it. And it's very reminiscent to all the stuff that from all these fan trailers people made with the fan title, The Rise of Unicron. It's like this becoming a reality. Well, that becoming a reality. Yeah, just there's so much to take in. And then we get to see an army of Scorponok, and I noticed they're very reminiscent to the Scorponok design that we got from the first Transformers movie and Scorponok's appearance towards the end of Revenge of the Fallen. But in Revenge of the Fallen, obviously that was the end of Scorponok. Jetfire smashed him to bits. But I noticed it's slightly altered, so they look more organic. They look more like similar to how the Maximals are presented as this like techno-organic looking beast form. But I also noticed the way that they sound when they're running. It sounds like Scorponok from the Michael Bay films. Primal's just going through them, biting them, ripping them apart. It just looks so good. I'm very excited to see how this movie turns out. And at the very end of the trailer, Mirage tells Noah to take the wheel, and he tosses him this piece of like metal, like this like metallic device, and it forms on his hand. In the very next scene, we see Bumblebee drifting, just sideswiping all these Scorponoks who I'm assuming they're Scorponoks in like their robot form. And I actually brought that up in a past theory video where at the end of that trailer when Primal and Battletrap collide, you see these weird like insectoid reptilian looking kind of creatures running on the side where Battletrap is running from, and it's these exact same things with like these like really thin looking legs. So I'm like, maybe those are Scorponok's robot modes. But the highlight of the scene is you see a smaller robotic looking character holding onto the back of Bumblebee. That's Noah. That thing that Mirage tosses to him is literal battle armor. We've gotten little tidbits of that in past films, like in Dark of the Moon, Q's devices that he made for the humans, like the gadgets, like almost kind of like battle armor, like the gloves with the grappling hook. We saw in The Last Night the medallion of Icon, I believe is what it was called. It turned out to be Excalibur, but it also looked like it could have been like a piece to like a full suit of armor that was similar to how the Knights of the Round Table's armor looked. So we're gonna have humans straight up like in battle armor fighting Predacons. It looks so good. There's little things that I picked up, like the drones that look like Unicron's drones from Transformers Armada. The item that I believe might be, in a way, the golden disc. The transwarp key. The Heralds of Unicron. Unicron himself. There's a lot. There's a lot to take in. So, in the coming days, I'll most definitely make a video kind of going more in depth into the footage that we got in this new trailer. But till then, if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram at The Mighty Beastman, and you can follow me on Twitter at Beastman Review. So, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already liked the video, consider doing so. I'd like to know if you liked it. And in the comments, tell me what you thought of the trailer. Have you seen the trailer yet? If not, you definitely gotta watch it. So, keep on rocking in the free world, and roll out! Till next time.